to the I Am Possible podcast, episode 14, with me, Anna Essen. Today's episode will be a little different than the last. I'm going to read you an article that I published on my LinkedIn account around a topic that I'm pretty sure that if you are here and listening to this episode, it is synchronistically perfectly aligned to be here and to listen about the message that I'm here to share with you. Because even if just one person take this message and decide to reflect on it and decide to take actions based on this, the possibility to create a way beautiful reality here on earth increase stronger. So I'm gonna jump in directly into the article. The title is "The Current Collective Reality is the Concentrated Focus of Humanity's Energy, and you can shift it." When you look around, you can encounter two main realities, and maybe you actually encounter only one at the moment, depending on where you are placing your focus. The first one is the reality that feels currently stronger in the collective field of humanity, more solidified. It is the one in the newspaper, in the news feeds, in the daily noise. It is the reality where people are harming people, where corruption is not only obvious but fearless, where injustice shows up on many levels, where struggle, division, and poverty seem normalized. Where? It is a reality that makes it appear as if there is no way to create a world where everyone can truly win. As if the idea of a collective, inclusive solution is just an utopian dream. And yet there is also another reality, a different one that not everyone sees, but many are already living and shaping. A reality where people believe that humanity is growing in consciousness faster than ever before, where synchronicities, magic, quantum jumps, impossible and improbable things are becoming possible, or how I love to call it, I am possible, where hearts are cracking open, allowing a deep acceptance of oneself, the good and the bad, and through that, of others, where sovereignty and power are anchored in full responsibility and soul-aligned actions, where money is a source of goodness, expansion, and freedom. So, if a reality is the materialization of the concentrated focus of humanity's energy, do you believe that your decision, where you place your focus and energy, can make a difference in the creation of new reality? Not just for your own comfort, but for your children, your grandchildren, and the generation to come. Would it not be wise to consciously choose which version of reality you are willing to add your energy to, and from which version you are willing to pull your energy away? Let me share an analogy I recently heard and expanded with my own reflection and understanding. Imagine there is a movie projected on a wall, and this movie represents the first reality I have described above. Every person watching the movie is not just a passive observer. They're feeding energy into the projector and into the storyline itself by putting their focus towards the movie. As of now, the majority of the people give their energy to it, and that is why it appears the brighter and more vivid. It feels very solid. It is the current collective reality. But now imagine a few people who have started questioning this reality, who were tired of the repeating patterns and cycles of the human history, have decided to look within and get to know themselves better. They have done the inner work. They have faced their shadows and reclaimed their wholeness and sovereignty, who have taken full responsibility for their life. Decide, I don't want to keep watching this movie anymore. I prefer to experience different reality. Without judging it, they simply choose to turn around. They shift their focus to a blank wall and start creating a new movie, but this time not as an amplifier of one singular projector, but as an individual sovereign projectors. There is no pre-written script, no 100% common ground. So the new movie is at the beginning fuzzy, chaotic. The storyline needs to be formed. It is an early iteration, but they begin shaping it, each from their own projector. They don't rely on one script writer or director. Each of them brings their own essence, their own values, their own frequency to the creation. This reality becomes a living and breathing movie shaped by everyone. Now imagine others who are also tired of the old repetitive film begin to do the inner work and to turn around. They too add their energy to this new movie. Suddenly, the second wall becomes brighter. The new story becomes clearer. Meanwhile, the brightness of the old movie starts to dim because fewer people are feeding energy into it. Creating and solidifying a new reality doesn't require mass consensus. First, one human, then two. These people, these nodes, start firing differently in their network. The ones around them begin to sense a new signal. Those who resonate start switching their focus, their channel. And when you know that every person is connected in a network with others, research shows that most of us are linked through no more than 6 steps, often just 3 or 4 degrees of separation. You realize that the signal of your shift can reach someone else through a very short chain. That's how the emergence of the new co-created reality accelerate. This is how a new reality begins to solidify. So if you think one person cannot shift the trajectory of humanity, let me lovingly say, you are wrong. Every single human counts. Every bit of energy matters. Now you may ask, if it sounds so easy, why isn't everyone making the decision to shift there to a reality that is more loving, more aware, more conscious, more human? There is a catch. There is a gateway. You can't perceive the new reality if you keep operating from a lower level of consciousness. But you might catch small glimpses of it if you're open-minded. For most people, the journey towards it begins after something tragic shakes their life. But that doesn't have to be true for everyone. But if you're reading, or in this case, listening, these lines, you have already become aware of this potentiality. Whether you are willing to accept it or not, that is your free will, your decision. There is one thing I can tell you with absolute certainty. Through my last years of personal observation, data collection, and life experience, there are no coincidences in life. Everything is perfectly synchronized. So the fact that you are here listening these words is not random. It's a perfect synchronization, an alignment of the part of you that is ready to make a choice, a preferable choice, a conscious shift towards the second reality. The second step is your personal willingness to fully accept your unique nature, or at least your willingness to accept and integrate as much as possible of everything that is you. By doing so, you not only increase your level of consciousness, you not only reclaim your own sovereignty, but you are also able to accept everyone fully the way they are and the path they choose to go without a need to change them. You become one of those who are willing to show up fully in truth and humility. You become a conscious co-creator. By choosing your inner sovereignty, you gain the ability to co-create the blueprints that lead to a higher conscious reality. And if you ask me what these blueprints will look like, what kind of reality will solidify in the movie, then based on my current understanding, and that is as of now, and this can shift at any moment, I would say this. Each of us projects our own energy into the field, and naturally, some parts of our projection will intersect with others. Every time a new person joins, this intersection shifts, adjusting to include the new frequency. What becomes solidified as a collective experiences are the elements that find mutual resonance with this intersection, while still allowing space for individual expression and creation. To make it simple, if in the new reality the shared agreement is that there are no weapons, then that becomes part of what solidifies. It is an ongoing iterative process of tuning, testing, aligning, and refining, and everyone can participate equally. I use a term for this reality that deeply resonates with me: conscious economy. In simple terms, economy can be described as the way a society organizes itself to meet needs, exchange value, and allocate resources, which means life itself is economy. But for me, a conscious economy is something beyond the traditional definition. It is living, breathing, interacting, ever adapting, ever evolving, a relational way of exchanging energy through people, ideas, services, creation, care. It may include elements from models like the circular economy, which aims to minimize waste and maximize reuse by designing systems where resources are continuously cycled, or the impact economy, which focuses on generating measurable positive social and environmental outcomes alongside financial returns. But unlike these predefined models, which are often structured within templates that measures whether something fits in a particular box, conscious economy has no fixed container, but instead is the container that might or might not include pieces that already exist. Because the holistic desired life you're willing to experience, the conscious economy, cannot be copy-paste from the past. It is not a preset system. It is something we focus into existence together, you and me. It's created in real time by sovereign individuals showing up as their true, authentic self, co-creating not just products or policies, but new way of collaborative life in full respect to the uniqueness of each living being, including Pachamama or Gaia or the earth. But remember, that is only one viewpoint, my current viewpoint. That is also ever growing, expanding, and remembering how it can look like. So now I want you to imagine others, other people, maybe even you, who are also tired of the old repetitive film. What if instead of staying in it, you began doing the inner work? What if you turned around? What would happen if you stopped feeding the old projection and started shaping something new? I want to give you a few questions so you can explore your own current viewpoint. And I invite you to have the courage to share this viewpoint below in the comments, and even maybe inspire others to remember a perception within them that you can awaken through your viewpoints. Could it be that the moment you shift your energy, something in the collective start to shift too? And if more people made this shift, what kind of story would start emerging? Would the second wall, the new storyline, begin to glow a little brighter? Could the old movie start fading? Not because we fought it, but simply because we stopped fooling it. Do you believe that creating and solidifying a new reality truly requires mass consensus? Or could it begin with just a few, maybe even just one, maybe even just you? What happens when just two people, two nodes, start firing differently in their network? Could those around them start to sense a new signal? Might they shift their focus too? And if we are truly all connected, how quickly could that new signal spread? Could your inner shift reach someone you have never even met? What if this is exactly how a new reality begins to form, not through force, but through alignment? So if you've ever wondered whether your focus and energy matter, I gently ask, what if they matter more than you think? Could it be that there is a kind of gateway, not a physical one, but one of conscious level? Is it possible that you can't fully perceive a new reality while operating from a lower level of conscious awareness? And yet, haven't you already caught a glimpse of it? Moments of possibility, connection, clarity, just by being open. For many, the journey begins through pain or disruption. How is for you? Do you believe that the pain is the biggest catalyst for willingness to look inside? And if you have found your way to these words, could that already be a sign of readiness? a reflection of some deeper part of you that's already leaning towards the shift. Do you believe in coincidences? Or could it be that everything, yes, everything, is perfectly synchronized? And if so, then what is this moment inviting you into? What might change if you allow yourself to say yes to your own uniqueness fully? What would happen if you embrace not just your light, but the hidden parts too, the shadows, the uncomfortable pieces? Could it be that by doing so, you don't just reclaim your sovereignty, you also open your heart to the sovereignty of others? What kind of world could we co-create if we stopped trying to change one another and instead show up in truth, in humility, in wholeness? And what if the new blueprints for our shared future aren't fixed structure at all, but living, breathing templates form in the space where our individual energies intersect? What becomes possible when those intersections are respected, adjusted, and honored with every new person who joins? Could it be that what solidifies is simply what we agree upon together? That we don't need to all be the same, but simply willing to listen, align, and iterate? To make it practical, if in this new reality the shared agreement is that there are no borders and no belonging to a country, could that belief itself become a stabilizing force? And if so, what else might we redefine together? Could this process, this evolving, refining, realigning process be open to everyone? Is it possible that this is what a conscious economy actually is? Take your time, go over the questions again, and be courageous enough to answer it for yourself. Because if you are here, there is a reason, there is a purpose, there is a perfectly aligned synchronicity. And I'll be so happy if by doing so you decide to share some of the insights below this podcast episode. I see you. I love you. Anna.